Hi, my name is Christy. Welcome back to my channel. It is almost Christmas time. I decided to do something a little Christmassy, and I was gonna make my brother the focus this time. So, a fun fact about my brother Greg is he can rock a bow tie. He loves them, he wears them all the time. So while I was walking around in Walmart, I found a bundle of Christmas llama fabric. His daughter, my niece, Daisy, loves llamas. So this was meant to be. So I decided to give him an early Christmas present of a bunch of llama Christmas bow ties that he is forced to wear because I made them for him. And his daughter is also going to force him to wear them. All right, Daisy? Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. If you're ready, I'm ready. I hope Greg is ready. Please stay tuned to the end because he has agreed to model for me. Merry early Christmas, Greg. Here's the fun bundle of Christmas llama fabric I found at Walmart. There are 5 different patterns and they are each 18 inches by 21 inches and 100% cotton. I also bought some lightweight iron-on interfacing and these 3-piece bow tie hardware sets from Joann's. Greg will be the proud new owner of 5 new Christmas bow ties made from this Christmas llama fabric we liked. This one that we don't love so much, I'll be experimenting on that one later. A fa la 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 llama tie, a Christmas cactus wearing Santa hat tie, and our favorite llamas wearing wreaths. Now, I've made it known that I hate patterns. I would much prefer to pattern from my own clothes. However, I don't own any bow ties. I was lucky enough to find this free bow tie pattern download that I've linked in my description box. All you need to do when you print it out is to make sure that the box pictured is 1 inch by inch, which it mostly was. Cut, fold, and tape according to the pattern and make sure you do a better job than I did here. I'm going to start with our favorite fabric and line it up so that the llama faces are in the center. Cut out 4 of these and 2 pieces of the interfacing. If it's a very lightweight fabric, cut out 4 pieces of interfacing, but since this is cotton, I only really need 2. Line it up so that the rough side, the side with the glue, is facing the wrong side of the fabric and take it to your ironing board. I always like to lay a pillowcase over top just to protect my iron, then dampen it with the water spray and use lots of steam to get the glue to stick well. Double check and re-steam any spots that may not have stuck. Hold the iron in place for about 5 seconds in each spot. Now I have 2 pieces of fabric without the interfacing and 2 with the interfacing. Again, line up the pattern so that the llama faces are center and pin in place. The cutting took the longest part of this entire project. You can double up the fabric and use a rotary cutter if you have it. It just sometimes has difficulties going through multiple layers, and I am concentrating so hard my hand started cramping. Here's where I forgot that when using directional fabric, 2 needs to be upside down because when you face them together the way I cut it, one side will be wrong. Luckily, I had enough fabric to cut 2 more facing the opposite direction. Now, when I face them right sides together, the llama faces are all going the correct direction. I have pinned the layers together, each containing 1 piece of interfacing, and will sew each of the 2 halves around the edges, leaving the bottoms open to turn right side out. The most difficult part while sewing is around the curves. The first tricky spot is at the first bend. Leave the needle in the fabric and pivot the fabric to make a nice angle. Then go really slow and lift and lower the presser foot around the end curves to make sure that they are neat and even. Remove excess fabric from the corners and clip notches at each bend and also around the curves. Make sure you do not clip through the thread line. I like to go nuts and clip lots of notches just to make sure it lies extra flat when you turn it right side out. After done, it should look something like this. Start at the end and pull the fabric apart to fit your thumb in the end and begin pressing the fabric through the middle. Use a pen or anything sturdy. Sadly, my loop turner is a little flimsy, but I did put it to work too. And it does really work well to poke out the ends before completely turning it right side out. Roll out the edges and then take it back to the iron. A quick press does wonders on making it lay flat. Starting at the open ends, poke the fabric inside itself about 1/4 of an inch, and then sew back and forth a few times to hide the raw edges, which honestly I recommend doing this step after fitting the hardware on, just to make it easier to fit through. This still worked, it just was a little more difficult. Here is the 3-piece bow tie set with a clip and adjuster, except my brother is bougie and said no to the clip, so I'll just be using 2 sliders instead. Because I had to struggle getting the fabric through, I have cut single layers of fabric to demonstrate better. I definitely recommend buying larger sliders or not sewing the ends shut first. I couldn't find larger sliders because Joann sells one size, and one size only. The first side's the easy side. It will just fit through one side of the adjuster and then it's sewn down. I've used a safety pin to keep it in place. And then slide the fabric up and over the middle bar of the second adjuster. The path of travel goes through this adjuster and then through the open side of the first adjuster. Then goes underneath and back through the underside of this adjuster. And then it's sewn to itself, represented by a safety pin. And you can shorten or lengthen as needed. Here's what it ended up looking like on the finished fabric. This here was the trickiest part, just trying to get all of those layers through one little adjuster, but it's done. And that is one snobby looking Christmas llama. Here's a quick option to use the pattern the way it was intended, with that no sew zone in mind, even if your fabric isn't long enough. I've cut out 2 pieces and folded over the ends, overlapping with the outer layer so that the raw edges are hidden when joined in the middle. Pin everything together, keeping that little 2-inch gap open, the no sew zone, so that you can turn it right side out. Sew all the way around the edges, stopping at the 2-inch gap. And when the 2 pieces are sewn together, this should make the middle neck part about 16 to 16.5 inches, which is Greg's neck size. And then everything is roughly the same. Just be careful sewing around the curves, clip all of your excess fabric from the corners, make your notches, clear your scraps, and then turn it right side out. Sure to poke out the corners and roll out the edges. Iron it flat, and the only part left is to hand stitch the 2-inch gap closed. The good thing about doing it this way is that you really don't have to mess with any hardware, just some curious dogs who think it's food. Please enjoy this final reveal featuring Greg, the GQ bow tie model. We had way too much fun filming all of the different bow ties. Enjoy!
I just scared that man. See him run? Look how fast he's going. That man is running away.
Stop!
She's trying to get a close up of the bow tie.
fastidious.
Something with an S.
La 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 ma. You done yet?
Yeah, that's fine.